Hello and welcome to Aha Moments. This one was originally sent out on May 6, 2024, and is entitled, I Don't Feel Like It. And this was as a result, I was at a conference and there was a speaker giving a conversation about, and one of the quotes in the conversation was, "It's the start that stops most people." The start that stops most people. Now, if you've probably heard that, and a lot of people take credit for it. If you look it up, you'll see all kinds of people take credit for it. But the conversation really, I encapsulated when I was listening to it, and it came to mind that I don't feel like it, in a sense that how we excuse ourselves with all kinds of things. And when at the end of the day, if we really drill down, it's because we just didn't feel like it. And if we're honest with ourselves. So this one really hit home with me when I was watching the speaker and listening to the message. It hit home with me. And as I said, at the end of the day, I just kind of drilled it all down and I went, oh my God, that was very powerful. So you've had aha moments, right? They kind of, these little flickers or big, flashes that happen and they change your life. And the aha moments that I share are based on Aha Moment Mondays that are sent out through my email list every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So get on the list, go on ahumanapproach.com, get on the list, and you'll get that and some other things. I most certainly do not overshare by any means. And of course, needless to say, your email list is, your email is safe. We certainly don't sell or share that at all. But, I don't some people just like email every day, and then everything goes in spam. And I don't want that to happen. I want you to get the emails and for you to open them and really enjoy them. So the Aha Moment Monday blog is typically around 60 seconds. So it's a really quick read and just a great way to inspire you to get started on your week. So I'm going to read that aha, and then, then we'll have a little bit of a conversation about it. Okay, you ready? Here goes. It was called, I don't feel like it. So, how many times have you justified your action or inaction with busyness, other priorities, inconveniences, lack of communication, or missing elements when the real reason you did not attend, participate, or implement is because you just plain didn't feel like it? You are expected to attend a launch event across town at the close of the business day. You know it would mean more time in traffic than you have patience for, having to bring a change of clothes, and to be engaging when your battery is close to empty. Do you go to the event? It's leg day, but everyone is going to a concert. What do you choose? The business plan includes being in front of 3 new people every day. It's been a heck of a week with family diversions and fires to put out. Do you look for 3 new people anyway? So often, best laid plans can get sidetracked because life gets in the way, at which point intentions are tested and I don't feel like it wins over. However, what overall impact does short term, I don't feel like it, have on accomplishing long term desires? We need to care for ourselves as burnout is not an option, but can excusing ourselves water down our meaningful goals? Aha. Without commitment, you won't start. Without consistency, you won't finish. That was a quote by Tony Hubbard in the presentation that I described. Your best life requires growth in 2 ways, gravitropic and phototropic, as we use a tree to illustrate. Gravitropic is the growth below the Earth's surface. It is the deep, swampy shadows where stability and resistance are developed. Phototropic is the growth away from gravity and towards the light. The stronger the root, the greater the stability. The more exposure towards light, the sweeter the fruit. With a clear vision, a mentor, and a plan, the way forward will present itself with a variety of opportunities and circumstances to enable growth. However, you need to act on them. Ignoring the signs and opportunities, or worse, giving way to complacent programming with, I don't feel like it, excuses, you're disabling natural expansion. Digging in the hardest when you feel like it the least will be work, but it's your work, your soul's purpose. The world is watching. That's the aha. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked it. I hope you got something out of that. I think there's lots of little lessons and lots of nuggets in there. So I'm just going to point out a couple of them. And, again, in the original, in the aha, in the actual quote about, that you need to have that commitment to start. And what does it take to have commitment? Well, certainly desire, right? Secondly, a decision. And third, as we mentioned near the end, a mentor. It is really crucial to have somebody who's been there and can show you the way. Very difficult to do that stuff on yourself. Then it needs consistency. That I know for me, consistency is not a personality trait. Consistency, I don't like routine. I like disruption. I like change. I like to change things up. However, there are certain things that require consistency if you want to experience strong finances, good health, great relationships. You need to be doing things consistently. And like anything else, they get to be a habit after a while, right? So when I said I was talking to myself in this, and on my aha moments, I'm always talking to myself first. But this one, the glaring when Tony was making the presentation about, about growing in either direction and concurrently, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But all of a sudden I thought to myself, as I'm experiencing, I'm going through the emotions as I'm listening to him about my growth and what I want to accomplish and how I'm doing on it, was kind of checking my progress. The concept of I don't feel like it came in, because there are times when whether it's picking up the phone to call somebody, when I mentioned in the examples, if you're driving across town, or you need to go work out, or that you need to step up in your business to get just those couple more people on your plate, then I'm not saying that necessarily I do this, but I think we all do it to some extent, that we get to a point where you just go, I just don't feel like it. Now, I want to be clear in here. And I said, one thing for sure is that burnout is not an option. So we need to know when we are pushing ourselves beyond our boundaries and say, it's just not something I can do today. That is being honest with ourselves. That's not excusing yourself. That's being honest and say, I just don't have the bandwidth for that. So what does it take to have the bandwidth? Sometimes it's a change in nutrition. Sometimes it means doing more spiritual work, or getting out in nature, getting more sunshine, like just feeding yourself, feeding your soul. Sometimes it means a conversation with somebody. That's why I said the mentor is really important. I have a few very close friends, and we talk on a regular basis, like, usually every week at least. And the reason being is that we're all working on stuff, including ourselves. And we kind of have one another to bounce ideas off of, and to say, here's what I'm experiencing. And, what are you doing? And the reason that we are doing it even more closely than ever before is because the energy that is coming in right now is very, very strong. And there is a lot of manipulation going on that is keeping you from being your best. This is not new. This has been going on for a very long time, but I'm bringing your attention to it if you're not aware of it, because when you feel that heaviness, or you feel that, oh my God, I just can't go one more step, you need to be aware that there's between the media and the government and advertising, social pressure, alcohol, like there's so many things that are putting the screws to you, and you don't see it because the mind control is very clever, and a lot of it is very subliminal. So remember, your subconscious mind is registering about 10,000 impressions a second. And so it is always looking for the safe way to keep you healthy and to keep you, survival being the number one, right? It's always looking for the safe way to do things. And it's always looking for patterns. So when it finds a pattern, and in society, there's a lot of patterns that are created, and especially within your tribe, where your safe group is, safety being, of course, that operative word again. When there's that safe group, then you have that pattern that's going on, and the mind goes, the brain goes, okay, we like that. We recognize that. Doesn't mean it's healthy for you, because subconscious mind can't judge, right? Only the conscious mind can judge. The subconscious mind is just an autopilot. It's just like the program that's running on your computer. It doesn't judge, it just implements. So it's looking for that safe, that repetitive programming. So knowing that that's happening, and that a lot of the repetitive programming in your life right now is probably destructive, not by your doing. Believe this is not your doing. But if there are the times and you say, I just don't feel like it, understand that sometimes it's those negative energies that have just got a grip on you. So those are the times when we need to recognize maybe we do need more sunshine. We need to get out in nature. We do need to have some fun. We need to cut ourselves some slack. So yes, we need to be responsible to our desires and commitment and not excuse ourselves in a sense of, I don't feel like it today. And when you drill down, as I said, in a lot of cases, like I find it, I'm reaching out to people doing a Zoom call tonight on precious metals. And I'm reaching out to people, and there are people who are responding, go, oh, I'll see if I can make it. It's like, no, if you want something, you make a decision, right? You have a desire, you make a decision and you make a commitment. You go, oh, I'm curious about that. Or I'm not, comfortable with some of the things that are going on in my life. I'd be interested to learn about metals. Or geez, hey, I like what's happening in your life. Maybe there's something you've got that I need, right? There's a lot of people that, they use lots of excuses as to why they can't attend, and they blame other people or other circumstances. And this is where, and I'm not faulting them. I'm just saying that they can do whatever they want. Doesn't matter to me. I'm going to keep going. The point being is that we need to be honest with ourselves. Am I excusing myself? Am I making excuses by saying, oh, I didn't get the email. I didn't get the, coordinates and, oh, the traffic. But are we making excuses, or are we actually being honest? Are we pulling ourselves out because either we don't have the bandwidth or because we're choosing to do something else? I could do a lot of things this tonight if I wanted to, but at 7 p.m., I'm going to host that call because that is priority, not just for me, but for all the other people who are coming on that call. It's very important information that we're hosting. So I'm choosing that, right? There's other things that I know that sometimes I'm not good at, especially if I'm stressed out. I know that I will turn to foods that are not necessarily honoring. And I mean that in a sense of, I'm a healthy eater. I don't eat packaged foods as a rule. I don't take toxins. I'm not on any meds or anything like that. I'm pretty clean that way. However, I will reach for, let's say, carbs when I'm stressed out. Not the best example. Should probably take a hit of protein, maybe even a glass of water, right? So that's the discipline that I have to sometimes say to myself, and never mind that I don't feel like it. I'd rather have carbs and just sometimes just be stronger with myself and say, no, that's not honoring. That's not a good thing for you. Let's just have a glass of water and walk away, get some sunshine and go back at it, right? So whatever it is that you're going through right now, this is a point of saying, look, you deserve to, to go towards your life purpose, to feel good about what you're doing. And yes, you're going to have to work on the root. You're going to have to work on that stuff in the dark, deep shadows when it doesn't feel good. And nobody's noticing the work, including you, but that's what builds the stability and the resistance, right? You can go through that tough stuff. In the meantime, you've got to be reaching towards a light, and reaching towards a light could be, fostering your ideas, putting yourself out there, presenting. There could be all kinds of things that you're doing to expose what it is that you want, right? And, so we're going to be working in both those directions, and probably fairly equally, right? In order to get the sweetest fruit. So anyway, that's the message for today. I hope you love it. I look forward to your comments. Send a note to me at j@thehumanaapproach.com. Make sure that you get on the email list so that you don't miss a thing. Okay. All right. So have a wonderful day. And as always, succeed deliberately.